Good evening, Metal Faithful. It is I, the mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Radulich, Captain Passive-Aggressive, if you will. And this is the Metal Hammer of Doom. Passively antagonistic, that's what the kids at school used to call me. And tonight, we are, speaking of school, class is back in session, and we're headed to Lordiversity. Yes, sir. We've already done Superhuman Flytrap, or whatever it was called. Superflytrap, that's the one. And we are moving on to disc 2 here, which came out not that long ago. Abracadaver. Abracadaver is set on a fictional timeline for 1991 and was inspired by the music of Anthrax, Metallica, and Pantera. And speaking of Anthrax, Metallica, and Pantera, these are all bands that these men have helped me review. First, my brother from another mother, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Essential, Jesse Starcher. How do you do, sir?
Glad to be back in school of the School of Lordiversity. Lordiversity welcomes you, and we are going to have a good time. We're heading into the 90s. Boy, we'll be jumping time frames all over the place with this Lordiversity. I tell you what, I don't understand why they released them like this, but hey, whatever.
I think Lordi just does whatever they want to do, and you know it's up to you to deal with it. No
one should question it. That's right. That is right.
Oh, yeah, man. You'll end up buried in the backyard or some shit.
That is correct. Yeah, man, I'm glad to be back here. Can't wait to talk about this one. I think we're going to see a market improvement, or I shouldn't say improvement, a market difference for sure from the last album that we talked about.
Yeah, this one isn't goofy like the last one we did. I mean, as much as I liked it, and we talked all about it, you can check it out in the archives, our Superflytrap review. Look, if you can tolerate the disco, you're going to enjoy it. If you're like, could we listen to like some heavy metal music on this heavy metal album by this heavy metal band, you dumb fucks? All right, yeah, sure. Then Superflytrap's probably not for you. Abracadaver, more in line with what you would come to expect from Lordi on this disc 2 of the Lordiversity box set. And speaking of box sets, ladies and gentlemen, the Metal Cooper, Robert Cooper, how do you do, sir?
Does that mean that I offer so much content that you can charge a premium price for me?
No, it means that a guy who used to date a friend of a friend of a friend of my wife's wouldn't stop talking to me about the Metallica box set, and now Do You Have the Box Set's become a running gag with me and this girl.
That's a good one, actually.
Yeah.
I love running jokes. I have one with my friend Nick, who one day I will get on this podcast, and we one day did plan on getting him on the Pantera podcast, and he was like, no, I don't want to do it. Like literally at the last second.
Yep.
That was fun times.
That's how you end up being on a million people's podcasts everyone else says they're going to do it, and then nobody does, and then along comes Old Faithful, me, to bail asses out of trouble. Yeah, hey, you want to be on this toy trivia show? No, I don't. No, I don't know anything about toy trivia. Okay, well, we got nobody, so you're going to be on the toy trivia show. It's your fucking network. All right.
Watch you fail.
What is the drill dough?
Not those kind of toys.
Oh, wrong one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be in November. We'll do that. We'll do that show in July. How about? How do you feel about that, Jesse? You want to do a sex toy trivia show in July?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
What theme does that one? What theme does that one run into? Christmas in July?
Minions.
Oh God! Damn it! Oh wow! No, don't Rule 34 that. Which, by the way, I brought up to a coworker a few months ago what Rule 34 was, and she looked at me and says, "I don't know what that is." And I just giggled while her boyfriend was like, "Damn it, Cooper, don't do this."
If I had a nickel for every time a guy told me, "Damn it, don't do this," with reference to his girl, I would have 2 nickels.
Well, right. I'm just happy that you added that last part, because the other one could have went a long way, all the way, if you will.
That's what she
if
said.
You will.
Not to me.
All right. So who wants to listen to some music? Are we ready to do some music here, or are we done? Are we done bullshitting?
Bring it
last
on.
night we did like a 30-minute interview before we finally got anywhere near playing music. Today I kind of want to get to it. So
you don't get paid by the hour here?
No, Alexis, we don't.
Get Alexis Hana on the phone right now.
Oh, son of a bitch! I was told I would be paid in exposure.
You'll be exposed, all right.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for 8 years. No, almost 10. This is ridiculous. Yeah, I'm kidding. I don't give a fuck that I'm not getting paid.
Should hope not.
We're all here to have a good time.
I spent far longer writing for 411, and I know they make more money than this thing ever did.
Speaking of which, I was looking through. So we were talking before the show started tonight about editing and whatnot, and just treasure trove of just the Radulich and Broadcasting Network stuff. Not even the stuff I did before that. Since I've been doing this since 2006, and re-airing it, reshaping it, editing it, making it look pretty. Right, Jesse?
Oh, that's right.
And, one of the things that's in there is the dozen or so shows you did for the Common Writer. And it's like, that's so far down on the list of things I'm going to release only because I have no idea what in the hell you were talking about back then. And you gave them such goofy-ass names. It's so funny. Like, everything is very clearly labeled in Blog Talk Radio. It's like, Big Bang Review, Daredevil Review, Captain America Civil War. Hey, shut up your mother on a toaster. Common Writer. Like, what the hell is this? Like, you gave them such goofy titles. Do you remember did those titles have any significance to them? Or, like, what was the impetus for some of those, Cooper?
I usually it would just have something to do with the episode, something just funny. Like, I remember the last episode we reviewed was the Kyoryuger 100-year after special. That also featured somebody coming to fix my air conditioning halfway through. And one of the characters became the Bowling King. And I was like, all right, that's my favorite character. That's what we're fucking naming this episode after. But I also came to find that, because that was 2012, 2013, 2013, 2014. Because that was right before I got a job. Funny how work can just make it it's harder to bullshit. I also had a habit in college of naming files random things. That has since become very unfortunate as I try to be like, what the fuck is this? Oh, well, I don't need this anymore, but it's a funny file name.
What does this file mean? What is it? What was I thinking about when I named it Tongue Your Toaster? I don't know what this is. Oh, it's homework. Okay.
Oh yeah, it was. Oh yeah, dude. I named a bunch of stuff out of some Rotting Christ albums. Yeah.
That would drive me insane.
Well, because at the time I knew what was in there. It's just with force, with hindsight, I see that perhaps it's harder for one, just like they probably learned in a good old synergy with our episode 2 weeks ago, the 2007 anime industry. Maybe it's better to just give something a number rather than put a cute name on it and just hope they figure it out.
Yeah.
Please.
Jesse, have you ever done that? Like, I know, like, you have to save all kinds of stuff. You have to make spreadsheets. You ever just go crazy and start giving things weird names?
I can't say that I have. I stick to numbers because if I don't, trust me, I'm going to have problems. I will not know where something is or what something is, and I save enough fucking files. Man, I've got to have, like, okay, if this is this, dude, spreadsheets are my life here. How am I going to keep that shit straight? So. Right.
And doing a lot of spreadsheets at work and whatever, you start giving things different names. Then when you have to go back and like need to find like how many of one thing is this and how many, like if you need to any kind of report preparation, if you need to give any kind of answers about how things are going, it's hard to do that when that entire column is filled with a bunch of different things that all may relate to one another. It could be organized a little bit better. Simplicity is the key.
That's right. So, yes, I would agree, Coop. Please put a number on that motherfucker.
Yeah, if I ever were to go back to doing a podcast like that, which it's not as much of a thing in my life as it was 9 years ago.
Are you reviewing particular episodes, or were you just having like general discussions about the Common Writer show?
I mean, we were reviewing specific episodes.
Okay.
Like we were trying to do like a weekly review thing.
Mm-hmm. So if I go back and I look through your silly names, they actually relate to a particular episode or in a particular season.
Yeah, it typically will. Like, we always
Okay.
came with a topic.
Yeah, don't be surprised one day then when you start seeing, like, on W2M, Robert Cooper reviews Kamen Rider Episode 1. And that's the entire name of the of the podcast.
But funny story, Kamen Rider Episode 1. So my dad was an Army brat and was born in Okinawa. So all that shit, like Ultraman and Kamen Rider, like he remembers it. Like, he was telling me about it when I was a kid. Yeah, the show's Coming Elida is how he pronounces it, because that's how the kids around there would have.
Right.
So, like, fucking, 15 years later, here my grown ass is doing the fucking Kamen Rider 2 pose with him while he's doing Kamen Rider 1, because what can I say? But yeah, I sent him, like, the link to the fan subs. He just comments, I was watching this when it came out. Didn't know what they were talking about, but it was exciting.
All right, I think we've BS long enough. Let's get into.
There we go. We managed to fit in the required amount of bullshitting to where the people that really want to listen stay around.
Yeah, we have exhausted everyone's patience, and the only people left are the people who really like us. You really like us, so thank you, Guy. Let's move on to the first 3 tracks here, and they are as follows. We are dropping the first and the last, like, intro, outro stuff, but we have Devilium, Abracadaver, and Rejected. All right, you rejected fucks. What'd you think of that one? Jesse, start with you.
Rejected fucks. Well, hey, look, we are in a I guess, an era. Like I said, we're in the 90s here. And they, again, are pulling off the gimmick that they intended to do with these 7 albums, which is to kind of show the progression of the fake history of Lordi here throughout these decades. And, man, I will say that our first 3 songs are like what I wanted from Lordi. Now, granted, they're shooting for the thrashy kind of sound, just like you said. You compared them, what they were looking for is like something similar to Metallica. But this felt more like Lordi definitely compared to Superflytrap. So, yeah, I'm enjoying them. Abracadaver is probably my favorite of the 3. And I think that was the single. I could be wrong. I know they released a single off of here.
They did. Abracadaver was released September 24th.
Okay, all right. And so that kind of got you stoked for what was coming. But yeah, man, I got to say, I'm enjoying what I'm hearing so far. It's definitely, you said it was not as goofy as the last album. This is most likely right in the wheelhouse of Lordi when it comes to, if you were wanting to sing about zombies and the devil and all this stuff, this is the kind of sound that you're expecting with that. You're not expecting disco to be accompanied with lyrics about the supernatural and people getting killed and sacrificed and whatnot. So this is this feels very natural for Lordi for me. Coop?
Actually, so the first song on Abracadaver, like the first part when Mr. Lordi's vocals going more towards that falsetto, it actually reminded me of that early 90s Judas Priest, like in Painkiller.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, how does that one go again? And make sure you do it like a tiny Japanese girl.
Oh boy.
This is the Painkiller.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Jesse's currently looking at pricing plans for Spreaker to start his own podcast.
My cat is looking at me like, oh, what's a painkiller? Is that food? Are you going to feed me?
So anyway.
And I have to let him know that making that joke isn't going to feed anybody, unfortunately.
No.
But yeah, I definitely like this direction a lot more than the disco, probably because
you guys are
this
so lame. What a bunch of lame white people you are.
No, listen, I don't think that was a horrible album. It is exactly what Lordi probably should have done in the 70s. I think it's fine. It's just fine, but it's just not as good. I personally don't like it as much as Abracadaver.
I don't really feel like Mr. Lordi's vocals lend themselves as well to disco, plus the disco sound just isn't quite as much of my thing for a solid 50 minutes. Like, disco's like Volbeat for me. Give me about 2 songs and I've got my fill for the year.
Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think it sounded like a hard rock album. It definitely, I'll tell you what Lordi has done so far with Superflytrap and now Abracadaver, and I bet it is successful. And we'll come back to this thought as we progress through these albums for the next few months. But I think they did. I think if the mission statement was let's capture a sound of an era. If you think about the kind of albums that were coming out in the world of metal in 91, 92, 1990, 91, 92, that around that same time, I think so far they've captured that spirit for sure. And as a matter of fact, and I got to look it up here, but Coop, remember? I know Jesse doesn't. I keep threatening to make him listen to the entire album, and we never have. It's like on my list of things I want to do, but we're always doing new albums, so we never go back and look at some of the classics. And the people at the Unspoken Decade are Nazis and won't let me do my Unspoken album show. So I have to try to fit them into.
Oh shit!
And won't let me. I have to fit them into this show.
Reason 365 that Dean Compton is no longer going to be my friend.
Anthrax's Sound of White Noise came out in 1993, and there was one of those songs there. It might have been the first one that we played, Devilium. I honestly thought they were breaking into Only. You know what I mean? You remember that one?
Yeah, I do.
That drumming from Only, I'm like, that was right out of that. And then I went in this whole other direction. The other thing was, like, especially like early Pantera. Like, I gotta look and see like when Vulgar Display came out. But I was definitely getting some Vulgar Display vibes.
Yeah. I was also getting some early corrosion conformity vibes too from some of this.
How early? Like voting with a bullet early, or even earlier than that?
I think in '94. Can't remember which album.
Okay, so '94 puts it at like the big one with Albatross.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think what song I
Here.
fucking thinking of.
Let me look it up real quick. Corrosion. I wish we had a producer to do all this. Corrosion of conformity.
Well, that's you. You're the producer.
I think you're thinking of Blind. Maybe no.
Yeah.
Deliverance. You're thinking. So Deliverance is 1994.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Okay.
was the one with the sunflower on the cover, right?
Correct. That's the
Yeah.
one. That's their big one. That's like the peak of their career.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they're still releasing good shit though.
No, they are. Like, look, they. In fact, didn't we review No Cross, No Crown? I think.
I think
a little
we
ways
did.
back.
I know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did a COC album on here.
And America's Volume Dealer for a little ways there was like that came out in 2000. And that album was amazing. Wise Blood wasn't nearly as good.
Wise Blood.
But I mean, if you look at just no, it's fine. Please scream out anytime you feel the urge.
Name another album and I'll scream it.
Perfect. Make sure you're really distorted when you do it. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks. Just looking at album sales, Deliverance, I think peaks out at like 379. That's the most that they've ever done, at least in the U.S. In terms of just straight sales. In any case, so have you figured out which Corrosion of Conformity song it was reminding you of?
No, I never did figure it out. I was thinking of that era, but like really, it's just some of the overall drum work that they had, the beat that they had going, definitely gave me just some vibes of them.
So 1991 is the Black Album. Are we hearing any Black Album, you think, Jesse?
Well,
So
I
far,
don't know, man. I don't know. The Black Album seems a lot more progressive than this. That is horrible to say, but when you look at like what you see on a lot of the Black Album, I don't know. It just doesn't seem as. This doesn't seem as polished. How's that? This
okay, a little grimier, a little
Abracadaver
grittier.
does not seem as. Yeah, I would say the Black Album is definitely a little bit more produced than this is, and that makes sense because
They had
you know,
Bob
these guys
Rock
did
shining that thing up, man.
right, and this is 7 albums within a year, so production might not have been the high, priority of getting these albums out. So, but that's kind of like what this is supposed to sound like, though. This isn't supposed to be as polished. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't feel Black Album, in my opinion.
Well, we'll see if we get any Black Album as we go on.
Right, right on. By the way, something that really bothered me about the first song that we listened to, Devilium,
Yeah.
Murders of Ravens. Okay, I looked this up, and this is really a stupid nitpick, and this is what gets in my head sometimes when I listen to shit.
Is it not really a murder of ravens? Because I know
No.
I know a group of
Murder of
crows is a
crows.
murder.
Yes, it's a murder of crows,
All right,
and
so-
he
so-
says
so like
murder.
how many? So like what is it? What's the grouping though of a ravens? Like what's
I can tell you because I looked this up. Group of ravens. I'm gonna look it up again because.
and it's gonna show you like a wrestler nailing.
Are you
Sandman
ready
to
for
a
this
cross.
shit? Listen
Okay,
to this shit.
Go ahead.
And
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think this. I don't think this would work in the song because a murder of ravens. Nope, it is an unkindness or conspiracy of ravens.
A conspiracy of ravens would have totally worked.
Conspiracy of ravens. Block the sun. No.
Wasn't that,
you-
like,
I mean,
also, like,
you
a
gotta
name
work
of-
that in there.
I was gonna say, wasn't that also the name of like a Batman trade?
There's a court of owls. I don't know about conspiracy of ravens.
You know what? There's so much Batman out there. I'm sure somewhere there was a story called "The Conspiracy of Ravens."
Yeah, the conspiracy led to the court. Okay, that's kind of what happened there.
Okay.
That's how it all worked.
All right, let's keep going. Let's go on to our next 3 tracks here. We've got, for your listening pleasure, Acid, Bleeding Eyes, Raging at Tomorrow, and Beast of Both Worlds. am the beast of both worlds. So there I was definitely... Acid Bleeding Eyes, I could hear that Metallica march that you hear in a lot of their music, especially from that era. Raging of Tomorrow, Coop, I was hearing some Slayer from slightly before that time, some Seasons in the Abyss era Slayer, Rain and Blood. I can't remember which album it's on. It was one of those two, but Angel of Death, that sort of thing. But I was also hearing Not Becoming by Pantera, but the other one that they would usually perform them together. It'll come to me in just a second. I just had it. And then Beast of Both Worlds, that is a classic thrashy tune, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I actually heard some, a little bit of that, like, towards 1994, like, low era of Testament.
Yeah, I get that, sure.
Yeah, I heard some of that, which I like what they're kind of doing here, because typically with their music, I don't feel like they go with as much of a thrashy vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just really nice to hear them kind of do that, because thrash is one of those genres that when you're in the mood for it, like, it's really hard to go wrong.
Okay, I was thinking of By Demons Be Driven. That's what I was thinking of.
Mm. Yeah, I got a...
Isn't that Pantera?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Like, I was hearing some Pantera there, and I was like, and I started to say Becoming. I'm like, no, it's not Becoming. It was another one. I couldn't remember the other one that I was thinking of, and so I had to look it up really quick, and I was like, no, it's By Demons Be Driven. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
I think he might be in the
Well, why don't you jump in there?
He might be in the throes of some internet problems there. I heard him kind of break up just a tiny bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, of those three, I would say Acid Bleeding Eyes is my least favorite, but I will tell you that Raging at Tomorrow will be the one that I will probably put in my top 5 of Lordiversity. I ain't even heard the rest of the albums yet. I really, really like Raging at Tomorrow, and I'm glad you said something about Pantera, because that's exactly what I was picking up in that one. Oh, man. I mean, it is a really kick-ass song if you sit there and listen to it, just how everything comes together. It is one of those ones that will stick with you. Beast of Both Worlds, I mean, we're at the midpoint of this album, and I would say, like, they strategically put, like, 2 of the best songs here in the middle to kind of just get you ready. You've reached the pinnacle. We're going to kind of go down a little bit from here, but Beast of Both Worlds is probably top 3 off of this album as well, and it has my absolute favorite moment in this, where in this whole album, actually, where, the guitar's going, and then Mr. Lordi just yells, "Fuck it!" And then it goes on, and it's great. It's like, yes, this is you're headbanging, and that's exactly what you feel.
We have so switched places, man. It's so funny I say that though, but like I remember being like so hyped up for like Limp Bizkit on Halloween, and you're like, yeah, it's good, and then like here, like a few months later, I'm like, can we, like heavy metal music is nice, but can we get something a little different? There's Jesse's like, I want to fucking kill somebody, I want to punch a baby. You're like, all right.
I'm sorry, I'm not doing the disco with you there. This is, I think, a neat concept that Lordi is doing here, and are able to mimic the sound that they want for that era.
Here's what I'm pointing at though, Jesse, is you're normally. Like, even the stuff that you've brought to my attention before, like the Allegiant. By the way, did you like that band pitch meeting I sent you?
Loved
so
it.
good. Have you seen any more of his stuff?
You've sent me a couple of things, I think, by this guy. I haven't gone and searched stuff out, but I love the fact that he specifically focused on Allegiant. That's hilarious.
Oh my god, yeah, no, you need to, like, if you have a working TikTok account, you need to just check out, like, spend an hour or so, go through all of them. They're fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that was pretty good stuff, man.
You know what? I think I think we determined that if I switch my settings, I can play stuff off my computer through here, right?
I know Well, yeah, I mean, it's got to work just like YouTube, so I would assume that if you got TikTok on your computer, or you can find it on Facebook, you should be able to play the audio through it.
I want to see if I can before we go on to anything. I want to see if I can find what's this dude's name again?
Oh shit, I can't remember his name.
Because he does. There's one specific one I wanted to play for you real quick. That's hilarious.
It's some funny shit. Hold on a second.
Well, hang on. While you do that, you figure out what his name is. Coop, are you there? Did you die?
I don't think I'm dead.
Oh, good. There you are.
Okay.
Well, Coop, I don't know if you know this or not. We were talking before about labeling your files. And you know what would help you label your files?
Ooh, is it Grammarly.com?
It is Grammarly. Grammarly, for you listeners of the Metal Hammer of Doom, is offering a free download of the Grammarly software. Grammarly's AI-powered products help people communicate more effectively. Grammarly helps you write mistake-free on Gmail, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and nearly anywhere else you write on the web. Grammarly corrects hundreds of... Jesse's distracting me with the thing I asked him to do. Grammarly corrects hundreds of grammar, punctuation, spelling mistakes, while also catching contextual errors, improving your vocabulary, and suggesting style improvements. To download Grammarly today, go to getgrammarly.com/W2M-network. Again, that's getgrammarly.com/W2M-network to download Grammarly for free. Alrighty. Okay, you sent me a picture. Pat Gessner. Okay.
There you go. While you find this, do you want Coop to kind of give his thoughts on the 3 songs?
Yeah, go ahead, Coop.
Poke it out, Afro. I mean, yeah, I really enjoy what they're doing with this, and yeah, it's probably not much of a surprise that the non-metal stuff was less of my choice for listening in terms of the 2 albums so far. But this one is definitely what I was hoping for when I found out Lordi was doing like decades albums. Though I'm curious as to what they're going to do for the 50s.
Oh, I don't think they're going back that far.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I don't think that's the plan. I think we heard their earliest one already. I'll have to double check that, but I think Superflytrap is the oldest. No, I'm sorry. Skelectric Dinosaur will come out at us from 75. Superflytrap was 79. So when we hit Skelectric Dinosaur, it's going to be interesting to see. I hope it's all like mountain inspired and fucking. Actually, does it have it here? It says Skelectric Dinosaur influences of early Kiss and Alice Cooper.
No relation.
Yeah.
That's still hilarious because my grandma's name is Alice, and I didn't know that until I was 16.
Oh.
Because she goes by Louise.
Nice.
All right, so I found his page. There's a specific one where he did a bunch of silly bands, and he's labeled these so where I can see all the bands, but then there's a few that like I can't see the label, and I don't know if that's the one I was looking for or not. There it is. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and switch the settings here. So this is Pat Gessner on TikTok doing a lightning round of bands. Here we go.
Endless brunch ends in 2 hours. Hey, Jimmy, I know we've got a lot of meetings today, but endless brunch ends in 2 hours, and I could really go for some cake and eggs, so why don't we just send them in one at a time? We'll get all these done in 10 minutes. We're Nanowar Steel. We love power tools, and we want to sing about how much we love IKEA. Who doesn't? You're hired. We're Max Sabbath. We're like Black Sabbath, except we talk about McDonald's. It almost makes too much sense. Done. We're Cybertronic Spree. We dress like Transformers and play 80s songs. Honestly, I was not expecting anything else. We're Hatebeak. We're a death metal band, and our singer's a bird. Can't see how that could possibly fail. People like birds. We're Caninus. We're a death metal band, and our singer's a dog. Can't see how that could possibly fail. People like dogs. We're Urizen. We sing about boxes and have a mad scientist torture us every single night. Hey, I'm not here to kink shame. You guys do you. We're Oakley Dokley. All of us are Ned Flanders from The Simpsons. Gold. Solid gold. Never change. Hi, we're the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza. Yep, you're hired. Don't care what you sound like. Oh, Jimmy, we're done here. Send the rest to Sage so she can go into them in more detail. I got a mimosa with my name on it. Hey, Jimmy, I know we've got a lot of meetings today, but endless...
Oh, wow. There's like 3 bands we need to listen to and cover on this podcast.
Okay, so yeah, we're doing this right now. So we got to do Volbeat, right? Since we just did that one.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, you right?
Let's hear it.
All right, I'm gonna do a medley of these. I'm gonna put like 2 or 3, and then I'll, because I don't want to have to keep switching it back and forth. All right, here we go. This is the band pitch for Volbeat.
And we want to make music that... Okay, Volbeat, what do you got for me? Well, we're from Denmark, and we want to make music that appeals to people who like Elvis, but wish he was heavier, like Metallica, but only acknowledge that they like the first 4 albums in public, and hate country music, but still like Johnny Cash. You want to make rockabilly, country, thrash metal. Yeah, we got a ton of ideas for this. We got a singer who sounds like an orgy between Eddie Vedder, Cher, and Glenn Danzig. Please don't make me picture that. We got a pretty good lineup for the band. Rob Caggiano from Anthrax was even going to jump in. You think established artists are going to want to be a part of this? Who else? Well, we've already got plans to include King Diamond, Danko Jones, Gary Holt, that guy from Clutch, and Barney from Napalm Death. Okay, so is this like a Probot or a Metal Allegiance thing where you just kind of do this on the side and then let everybody go about their lives? Oh no, this is like a band. We're going to do this for like 10, 15 years and put out a lot of albums. Should I be scared? I'm a little scared. I mean, if that orgy didn't scare you, nothing will. Okay, Volbeat, what do you got for me?
So good. Here we go. Sabaton.
Literally all these songs are... So, literally all these songs are about tanks. They're not all about tanks. Every single one. Future of Warfare, Panzerkampf, Panzer Battalion. Alright, well, how about that one? It's called Ghost Division. The Ghost Division's the division of tanks, isn't it? I don't want to say. Okay, what is Night Witches? Oh, that's actually very interesting. They're actually a group of all-female Soviet pilots who flew at night. Oh, that actually sounds really interesting. Who did they bomb? Mostly tanks. Get the fuck out of here. So, literally all these...
Alright, so that's Sabaton. Do one more here. I remember a funny one. Here, from our upcoming review. This is Beast in Black.
No, we're Beast in Black. Okay, Battle Beast. I thought I wasn't talking to you guys for another couple weeks. No, we're Beast in Black, but actually some of our members are from Battle Beast. Ah, neat. So, what's your deal? Well, we're a power metal band from Finland. We've got a crazy guitarist and keyboard player, and we sing about slaying monsters. Yeah, that adds up. Also, a lot of our songs are going to be these bitter breakup songs, but they're going to keep the same aggression as the demon slaying stuff. No change whatsoever. And we're going for an idea like, what if the Berserk anime gained a human body, it sang like Tim Ripper Owens on Ecstasy, but couldn't decide whether it wanted to be in a Dio cover band or a Commodore's tribute band? That sounds like it shouldn't work at all. I really can't explain it, but we kind of transitioned seamlessly between songs about slaying beasts to songs where the chorus is literally, baby, baby, tell me more of your lies. So you made power metal songs with 80s influence where you actually say the words baby, baby, and metal elitists are supposed to actually like this? Yeah, we think so. I don't honestly know how to respond to this. Us either. It feels like we're able to see through the code of the Matrix or something. Okay, Battle Beast. I thought I wasn't talking to you guys for another...
Oh my god. I could listen to that guy do band pitches all day.
Battle Beast. Battle Beast is good.
What'd you think of those band pitches there, Coop?
I was down for them, especially the one with all the tanks.
That would be Sabaton.
Yeah. I think a band like that can really unite everybody.
All right. So let's go ahead and listen to some more music. How about that? And when we come back, Jesse, why don't you tell me what the angry metal guy thinks? How's that sound?
Oh yeah, I'll do my best.
Okay. All right, here we go. This is I'm Sorry, I'm Not Sorry, Bent Out of Shape, Evil, and Vulture of Fire.
See you sorry if it's ready to be done. You will be swallowed.
Why don't you walk me through your first album? Okay, so this wizard named Zargathrax unleashes an undead army of unicorns on ancient Scotland. Oh, slow down and start from the beginning. Oh, I am. This is literally the plot of the first album. Oh, it is. So anyway, Zargathrax is stopped by the Prince of Scotland, Angus MacFife, using this gigantic warhammer. Oh, that's where you get the name from. Well, that's a pretty weird story. So cut to 800 years later. Oh, you're still going. So yeah, Zargathrax comes back, and then Angus MacFife's ancestor has to stop him alongside this guy called the Hollywood Hootsman. What? So anyway, Angus the Hootsman and the Space Wizards have this giant fight, and then the Earth explodes. I mean, that's it, right? Nope, there's a full third album that has, like, a flying submarine and stuff, but we'll get into it later. Okay, well, what does the band sound like? Alright, like, you know the future they predicted in Back to the Future 2? Yeah? It's like that. Like, the 80s and the distant future are all the same thing. I'm in kind of a generous mood. I'm gonna go ahead and greenlight this. Just give me some good results. Is that the guy from Hailstorm? Yar. Why does he keep showing up here? Okay, Glory Hammer.
That one was for you, Jesse.
Fucking Glory Hammer. Oh,
Poor Glory
perfect.
Hammer.
I know, dude. You saw the shit that they got into, didn't you? I don't know, here recently.
Oh, no, tell the
well,
story.
Yeah, I did.
I don't know what this is. Tell the story.
Huh?
I don't know what you're talking about. Tell the story.
Can you double check my
So
schedule
one
for
of
today?
I guess, exes or whatever from the band started releasing their personal chat logs over the past few years. And let's just say it is most of it definitely ends up in PC jail immediately.
Right.
Yeah, giving very kind of degrading views of the women they've screwed, talking constantly about the women they've screwed, and using kind of racist terms to do as such.
Yeah.
Lots of jokes about the. I almost said the infirm. That's not a word to use. Whoops. Speaking of being canceled, lots of jokes about people with disabilities and just overall very distasteful stuff. So,
didn't it all occur because some guy got removed from the band and he was like, all right, fuck you guys. And then he was like, here's all these texts in order to basically, throw shade at, yeah.
I think he claimed it was like an angry girlfriend, but yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's what I thought. It was like an angry ex-girlfriend or something that kind of popped in and released all those. But yeah, it was a very bad look. And the guy from Hailstorm, I think, had a bit to do with it as well.
Yeah, he took. They had to come out and obviously make a statement. And yeah, it wasn't good. This all happened what was it last year?
I remember I was reading about it while I was at Nick's house, actually. I don't remember. It was sometime last year, but yeah, it was not pretty. Yep. Which, that was also the day I found out the guy. I think that was, didn't you send me the guy from Hailstorm has that band about beans?
Oh, yeah. Probably. Oh, it's great stuff.
It's a great gimmick, but yeah, they're. I don't know if they got officially, if they have officially been deleted from the stratosphere, but it wasn't looking good at the time.
Yeah. Sorry, very sorry. I am sorry, but not sorry. Mark
so
Radulich.
sorry. We're sorry.
All right, so tell me what the angry metal guy thinks, Jesse.
Well, again, the angry metal guy is probably taking a sabbatical right now, waiting till every all the 7 albums release digitally before he really lets us know, because Lordi archives are just filled with Killection right now. It's just Killection that's in there as the last review. So I will tell you, though, that it's funny because I did a search for Abracadaver review. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm running my stuff through the VPN, and I have got a lot of results that are either from Finland or from Switzerland. So metalfan.nl gives the album an 83 out of 100.
Wow.
This is Abracadaver. Then we have, who else did we have here? This is liverpoolsoundandvision.co.uk. Gives it an 8.5 out of 10, which is, that's kind of along the lines of what we just heard from the previous review. And then we have, let's take a look. This is not a rate. This is just a review, Mark Radulich. I shouldn't have brought that one up. I think that's all I could find on this thing. That is it.
Wow.
Let's say, okay, Flytarief.com no idea if this is just like a review site or whatever, but apparently it gives it a 3.4 out of 5. So would you like to hear, here's some quotes. The pros, Flactory.com pros, still quite some good and really good songs. Still quite some good and really good songs. Some really good performances on this album. The cons are some filling the album songs, which I could probably agree with. Not always good ways to interpret the desired genre. I don't know. I think they did a fine job doing that.
I mean, here's the thing. I think, like, it almost comes across as somebody, like, doing a tribute to the sound of that era. Like, it sounds less like composed songs and someone doing, here's what music from the early 90s metal scene sounded like, and just, like, played a medley of the types of licks and riffs and sound that you would get from that era. Like, that's why I started off a lot of my comments tonight with, I heard this from this song and I heard that from that song. I enjoyed as a listening experience, I enjoyed it. I actually played it in the car. After I was done with the Night Flight Orchestra, I played this in the car with my kids.
Chef's kiss.
And my wife, and I was enjoying it as far as like driving background music. It doesn't quite stand out to me the way that Superflytrap did, not to beat that dead horse, but I mean, as a heavy metal album with an early '90s sound to it, I thought they understood the assignment and accomplished it.
Agreed. Yeah, what was you gonna say, Coop? Go ahead.
No, I was just sitting there laughing at yes, I feel like we gave them some homework and they executed it well.
Yes. They showed their work; it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, and it. Honestly, I feel like this album, in a way, is kind of like Lordi's spin on a lot of that.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily expect, I expect to have, of course, like specific Lordi type songs, but also like if some of it's a little derivative of the sound of the times, it's kind of the point.
Right.
That's like the point of the whole Lordiversity box set.
Yeah.
Right.
You have the box set.
I was going to mention that because this is all born out of Killection. When we listened to Killection, the concept of that album was a DJ was playing select songs from these albums that we're getting from Lordiversity in order to, supposedly the myth was if you play these select songs, it would open up a dimensional barrier or some shit like that, and out will come a demon. And that happens in Killection.
Can we all agree to, if I've messaged Pat Gessner. He hasn't, and the whole reason I went over to his TikTok, other than to play which we didn't even play it, but I sent Jesse the one he did for Religion, and then we didn't play that one, but we played a bunch of other ones that I thought were funny. I think the whole concept is hilarious, but those in particular I thought were funny, especially for the kinds of stuff that we cover on here. Can we all just encourage Mr. Gessner to please do a band pitch for Lordi, specifically for Lordiversity?
I will retweet that. Is he on Twitter?
I don't know if he's on. He's definitely on Facebook. I found him on Facebook. Okay. He has. There's like a general thing that he does, which I wasn't sure that was him or not. But when you look at his TikTok page, he links to something called. I actually have it up here. He links to something called the Shred Shack. But then he has his own personal one. He's actually a fellow Long Islander. He's from the next town over from where I grew up.
Oh, neat.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's pretty cool.
Hey, man, we like you. We're a cool dude. Don't sue us for playing your TikToks without permission.
Right, dude. Please do not. Yeah. Just giving you more exposure. Ask Coop about it. He'll tell you.
I am trying to help you with your tens of thousands of TikToks compared to my, less than 100.
Well, but you figured out the angle to TikTok at, and that's what's important.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway, you were saying, Jesse.
Oh, I was just going, I love the concept of what they're doing here. Since they did Killection, they thought, well, we'll just actually do that story, and we'll show you the 7 albums that these songs came off of. And that's where we get Evil, the 10th song 10th track off this album. That was part of Killection. So just as for these last 4 songs that you played, there was mention about songs that fill the album. Bent Out of Shape is like a song that fills an album. I mean, if you look at the lyrics to that song, it is about as basic of a Lordi song as you get. A lot of the stuff we look at is Lordi talking about somebody getting murdered or disfigured or a zombie coming back to life. Bent Out of Shape is legitimately just a song about getting mad at somebody. That's all it is. There's nothing crazy other than the fact that he loses his temper and exploding within minutes. It's not like I'll make you. There's nothing. It's just other than the fact that he's mad, and that's the whole point of that song. And that's probably my least favorite song off of this album. Vulture of Fire, though, the last track that we get, is probably top 3 for me. I really did like Vulture of Fire. And as far as my final thoughts on the album as a whole, what we've got 2 from Lordiversity. This is obviously right now my favorite. I will say that this is probably going to at least be in the top 3 when we're all said and done of listening to all 7 albums. So easily top 50%, but it may even have a good shot at being number 1, depending on what we get, unless we get some really, really good stuff coming up out of Lordiversity.
All right, your final word on this, Cooper.
I really think that they're missing the great opportunity by not releasing a song called Vulture of Fire.
Vulture of Fire? Okay, explain. Vulture?
Well, I mean, it's just more or less what it does is it takes all your victims and then releases them in a flame-covered, disgusting meat sickle of a mulcher. You know,
okay.
It mulches.
Okay. I like it.
I really think that maybe they need to, go visit a hardware store every once in a while, like that. Like that one movie with Denzel Washington, The Equalizer.
You clearly visit a hardware store too often.
It's a blue one, in fact. At one time I helped the illegals onto the truck. Then I managed them leaving the truck. And now I'm selling them fridges on the truck. It's a good time.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, this album overall, I liked it. I did like it a lot more than the last one. But then again, that's fortunately, we don't tend to have bars that low, tripping hazards.
All right, folks. Well, you can actually find this album along with all the other Lordiversity albums or the entire box set on AmazonUnlimited.com. And as a matter of fact, if you would like to experience a free 30 days of Amazon Music Unlimited, click the link in this podcast at getamazonmusic.com/W2M Network. Again, it's getamazonmusic.com/W2M Network for your free 30-day trial on us. You have to fill out all the information after you click the link, agree to the 30 days. If you like it, you keep it. You pay the monthly fee after that. If you don't, you can cancel. No fuss, no muss, no contracts. We use it all the time here on the Metal Hammer of Doom. You can make playlists. You can do all kinds of fun things with it. It's a really great service, and there's over 70 million songs you can listen to. You might find something that you never even heard before, like Cannibal Hulk. Remember the Cannibal Hulk that I talked about for like 6 months straight, Jesse?
Oh, yeah, can't forget it.
Cannibal Hulk, baby. Some sort of rapper.
I've never heard of him. Is he anything like Nuclear Santa Claus?
No, but if you're wondering if Pat Gesner did a band pitch for Necrogoblicon, he did.
I love Necrogoblicon.
Nice.
Very
nice.
Giraffe.
All right, so you're done here. Go check out his TikTok. I cannot, besides AmazonMusic.com/W2M Network, I cannot overemphasize how much everyone should go to Pat Gesner's TikTok and give him some love. He's fantastic. All right, that's it. That's our show for this evening. We didn't go an hour and a half because I didn't spend the first 30 minutes talking about a previous album that we covered and its subsequent fallout.
But we still can.
No, we can't.
We still have the time. We got the Morris Day, baby.
A week from Wednesday, January 26th, we're back at our regular scheduled day and time. We'll be reviewing, speaking of which, the Night Flight Orchestra Aromantic 2. And Jesse, just give us a little primer here, a little preview. Why are we covering the Night Flight Orchestra Aromantic 2, which came out sometime last year?
Something happened to where it ended up on my Spotify, and I was like, what is this? Because that definitely sounds like Speed from Soilwork, Bjorn Strid. And I was like, there's no way that he's singing an 80s, in like an 80s cover band. And lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, this band has been around for quite a while. Coop, it sounds like you've had some experience with them in the past. Actually, probably more than I have, because I just recently found them at the end of last year.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, on one of our year-end podcasts, I played a song of theirs as like a band we didn't cover.
Okay.
Because I think I played Gemini, which is everybody's favorite music video about soon-to-be deceased space lesbians.
Wow.
Oh yeah, you've not seen it yet? Like,
I'm going to have to see this.
Don't watch it with the family.
Got it.
Okay. All right. Well then.
Well, I mean, it's just got lots of lesbians making out, and then them all getting murdered.
We were driving to Black Angus last night. It was late, and we piled illegally into my Camry. It was my 2 children, my wife and I, and then her friends, Sarah and John. And so we had Jonah sitting on my daughter's lap and just prayed we didn't get pulled over into an accident where we would end up killing my son.
Right.
But anyway, and I can't remember what possessed me to start going in. I started riffing. I started doing this bit, and it was about like strip clubs and something else. And Jonas is dying laughing. And we all kind of just took a beat and was like, we all acknowledge the fact that I'm making jokes about strip joints in front of my 8-year-old, right? Who thinks this is hilarious. And somebody actually said in the car of the 2 friends, they're like, yeah, we like the fact that you don't like hide things from your children at all.
That's good. That's a good thing. You know, they're going to grow up and they are not going to be sheltered.
No.
You've done a fine job.
Thank you, Jesse. I approve of my parenting.
If they get lost downtown, they're going to know which is the strip club nearest the parking deck, and they'll be able to find their way back.
See, I just let YouTube do all my parenting, and then I'm fine, you know. So I don't have to worry about sheltering my kids or making a decision that, am I sheltering them too much or not? Here, just go watch your phone.
Yeah, whatever you need to know, you'll find on your phone. It's fine.
Yeah, and that's why I got 11-year-olds running around here sounding like they're, it's not good, Mark. It's not good.
Well, just get them to play more Magic the Gathering. What's the worst thing that could happen?
I agree 100%, Mark. Mark. Yeah, Mark, listen. I agree 100%, Coop. 100%.
What's the worst thing that could happen? They could end up with 60,000 cards and doesn't know what's in half the boxes.
Can I ask a question? A serious question?
Yes.
Now, Coop, you're young, but you don't have children yet, but you've been around children. You are somewhat plugged into what's going on in the youth culture. Jesse,
yes.
You have children, same as I do.
Right.
What is now, like 20, 30 years ago, if you got caught playing Magic the Gathering at your high
here we
school,
go.
your junior high or high school, there's a good chance you were taking a trip into a locker where you would live until someone found you. Is that not the case anymore? Are we not bullying children for playing Magic the Gathering? Like, this is now an accepted thing. Like, if your son just whips out his Magic the Gathering deck and starts playing with his friends, is it going to be like a section of bullies that come along and shove him into a locker? Someone talk to me about this. I need to understand.
I think you are. I don't want to say giving too much credit. That's not what I'm. Not the word I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. Let's just say, it's not Magic the Gathering. That's a little bit too advanced.
Oh, okay.
I would say that my son's come home with Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
That his friends have given them. So back in the day, I was out of school when Pokemon showed up, but I could see where you're going there. Like, I cannot see my son sitting around playing Pokemon at the lunch table or something like that without getting a hard time. That's not the case though anymore. No, we've evolved as a society to understand that that's a game and I don't understand it, and maybe because I don't understand it, I shouldn't give these kids grief. Okay. That's my guess, Mark Radulich. Society has evolved since the early 90s.
Well, I'll say as somebody who was, Pokemon was the cool thing when I was a kid. Like, Pokemon cards were the shit. But what I do think that perhaps is a little different, it's the same reason why kids that read comic books aren't as bullied as they previously were. I think it's because it's been in the cultural zeitgeist for so long that it's just become more commonplace.
Right.
Like, it's, there's so many people whose parents grew up with this nerdy stuff, and it just became more and more just like anime. Like,
it's accepted.
people used to pick on you all the time for watching anime, and now it's like everybody fucking knows what Goku is.
Okay, so what would get you shoved in a locker these days?
That's a good question. That's exactly what I was going to ask. I'm trying to think of what would actually get a.
What would anger the football players of today's generation?
Coop was in the middle of saying something, and his internet shit itself again. Coop.
Is it Agent Smith get him again?
Yes, it did. Man, I don't know. It's
Go get your
funny
daughter
because
on the podcast. She would know.
well, I ask, I'm kind of sensitive to those things where I'm like always asking the kids, hey, how's school going? Anybody give you a hard time? Every once in a while, let's just bring that up. And honestly, it's not, there isn't something that, okay, recent incident. This is like some shit we would have experienced when we were in school.
Right.
So my son is a big fan of a YouTuber. Surprise, surprise. Be ready.
But oh shit.
Yeah, there's Coop. But anyway, he's a big fan of Corey Kenshin. And Mark, I don't know if any of your kids watch Corey Kenshin, but you find a YouTuber that the kids like. Sometimes you buy the merch that they like.
Oh, so, yeah. My son has all the FGTV books.
Okay, all right. I know exactly who you're talking about because I've watched plenty of episodes with them. I really, really had issues with the fact that they let their son watch the eclipse and went blind at one point. But of course, that was a whole big story. It was fake. FGTV,
Never heard
family gaming TV or something like that.
Yeah, my son got into them.
It sounds like it's owned
ago.
by the Chinese.
Watch the episode where supposedly they let this kid watch the eclipse happen and go blind, and everybody starts freaking out legitimately online when in fact it was a complete fabricated storyline. Anyway, so Caleb gets a shirt that says, it's stupid, Spooky Scary Sunday, and that's something that Corey Kenshin does where he watches scary videos that are created. Anyway, it has a rainbow on it, and it has a big S, and it says Spooky Scary Sunday. Goes to school, and he's like, kids are giving him like shit about being LBGT, like pro LBGTQ. And I'm like, why are you giving that shit? Went out back in fucking 2000. I mean, I remember it when I was a kid, but I know we've gone past as I thought that we made it past that. That's not the case.
I mean, I'll say as somebody who lives in a very actually, this area is not as bad as the one I grew up in, but a very conservative, less progressive in terms of non-xenophobic ideas.
Yeah.
A lot of times what we see like as what we see as being accepted in the overall mainstream in some pockets like that is still going to be considered taboo.
Okay.
Like,
it's a rainbow. He's wearing a black shirt with a rainbow on it.
Also, kids are also xenophobic ass wipes. So they see something different than themselves, and they're like, "Oh, gay." They're just They're fucking assholes, and not everybody's parents are aware that they're saying that, or they don't give a fuck, and they encourage them saying that.
Right. You think as much as YouTube culture has taken over children at this time, and I'm glad that that there is definitely, it seems like, a more liberal stance on YouTube, at least for the stuff that my son watches anyway. But you'd think that most of the kids would recognize that as being something that's pretty passé. It's not. It still is something that the kids have to deal with. So anyway, there you go, Mark. That is, there's the personal feelings corner for bullying from the Metal Hammer.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known that because I am, as I was saying before I got cut out. Yeah, I didn't get bullied like that as a kid, but also like I skipped out on the whole everybody has a supercomputer in their pocket generation. I didn't get the supercomputer until I graduated high school.
How tall were you, though, in high school? Because you're a pretty tall dude now.
6'2" since for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and plus I'm funny, so all like I'm funny, so all the everybody liked me. I didn't realize how much until during graduation everybody's cheering, and I'm like, well, I could have used that for evil. I was informed I could have made class president if I gave a fuck. And I was like, oh, really? They're like, yeah, we just probably wanted to hear what your speech was. I'm like, yeah, it would have been some fun, I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, titties, thank you.
It's got my vote.
All right. And on that note, so we're kicking off a new week here of podcasts. We've finally gotten all the way through all of our Scream and Wes Craven and Nightmare on Elm Street stuff, and we are on to some new things, starting with a review of Scream 2022, or Scream 5, however you like it. On Wednesday night, we're doing a comic strip for Logan's Run, and this is to honor George Perez for the Superblog team-up. We're going to be looking at the 7 issues, 5 of which he did the art for, and we'll compare it to the movie, which is actually based on the novel. We'll also have a re-airing of Ozark Seasons 1 and 2, and that's Wednesday and Thursday. Speaking of Thursday, we will be, myself, Ronnie Adams, and Al Sedano of the Resurrections, Warlock, and Thanos podcast. We'll be reviewing Hawkeye Season 1. And then Friday night, we will have a re-airing of Battle Beast, No More Hollywood Endings. We will also, Whitney Seibold, we finally secured a date. He has been going on and on and on and on about this movie Nicolas Cage was in called Mandy from 2018. So I said, okay, look, I've had enough of you, sir, talking endlessly about Mandy. You're gonna come
You and
on
your
my
show.
you're gonna come on my podcast and you're gonna tell all the people all about Mandy. We're gonna have a conversation about it. So he doesn't know we're doing this, but we're doing an on trial for Mandy. Except it's not really gonna be a debate like Comer and I would do, where we take turns talking because he doesn't like to be interrupted. It's gonna be more of us just kind of reviewing the movie and having fun with it and giving him an opportunity to talk about what apparently is his like new favorite movie. So Whitney Seibold of Critically Acclaimed and I think IGN and wherever else he writes for will be on the show to talk Mandy after previously appearing to talk Pig, Lamb, and Wolf, because I'm dumb like that. Hoofcore, yep. And then speaking of Hoofcore, Jesse Starcher and the Protocol son, Jason Teasley, we're going to talk Anna Kendrick palling around with a sex doll. Dummy.
Yeah.
Formerly of Quibi, now on the Roku channel or wherever else you can find it. So that's going to be fun.
Boy, does it get raunchy. I am not used to Anna Kendrick being in that type of role for some reason.
Saturday, we have a re-airing of Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll Season 1, I believe. Yeah, Season 1. Season 2 is already in the archive because we reviewed it after I started sharing content with W2M. But Season 1 never made this feed, so we're going to re-air that this Saturday. And then in the evening time, Daniel Lasby and I are finally going to get back in the habit of doing some Saturday Night Fight coverage. There's no good boxing, as near as I can tell. So we're going to be doing UFC 270, just the main card. Francis Ngannou versus, I think, Cyril Gane for the UFC Heavyweight Championship. And then Sunday, the 23rd. Jesse, remember when we did a comic strip for The Kitchen?
I do remember that. Yeah, that was in the pandemic, wasn't it? 2020.
No, it wasn't in the pandemic. It was before that. But
Okay.
Pat Mullen was on that show to explain to us how the mafia works.
The I take his word for it.
If you'll remember, that
Do
was
they
his
give you an offer you can't refuse?
That was the major issue he had with it. Never mind, like, the movie or the comic or anything else. He was just like, women don't run the mob. What is this bullshit? So,
Right.
Now do you remember?
Yeah, I recall.
And one more thing I want to quick promote, and I'll be promoting this all week long, on Monday, a week from today, January 24th. So, a little ways back, speaking of being passively antagonistic, I don't know if you know this or not, Jesse, but back when I had my Blog Talk Radio account, I think everyone had been giving me some degree of crap about watching The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Yeah. For all the reasons you just groaned like a bear. And I got tired of it, and instead of just dealing with it like an adult, I got my wife to come on and do a 1-hour discussion of The Big Bang Theory where I called every single one of you, not by name, just vaguely pointing based on description, neckbeards and losers who can't stand reflections of yourselves on national television. So...
I have words for that, but I don't know if we have enough time remaining. I'll just say that it's not as much a reflection as it is a mud puddle.
You can just tell me to fuck off. It's fine. But so my wife. So I think when we decided to do this, that season of The Big Bang Theory had just ended. So we discussed the finale, and then we just kind of dovetailed into a loose defense of The Big Bang Theory, where I'm surprised I had any friends when it was over, and at least one person publicly stated he was leaving his apartment for a little while because he needed to clear his head and question his friendships. You're welcome.
Nice.
I'm going to re-air that on Monday.
Oh, I just didn't listen to it because I would just wholeheartedly disagree. So
yeah, so did everyone else. But
so why frustrate myself?
So we're going to release that passively antagonistic podcast a week from today. How do you feel about that, Jesse?
Fantastic. I'm absolutely 100% excited. I've never watched The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah,
I know about it.
You were not part of the chorus of people yelling at me that it was nerd blackface and that I shouldn't watch it.
That's funny.
So yep, that'll be available for you to listen to. You should listen to it with Mindy. You guys have a great time.
Sure.
All right, that's all my plugs. Coop, what do you got going on these days?
Well, I got a friend of mine that does a podcast, allegedly.
Oh, tell us about it.
Well, it's fuck. What does she call it? Remind me why I'm sober. It's supposed to be a podcast about reflecting on sobriety and keeping on the right track. And I did an episode with her, but she never released it because I guess we rambled too much. Whatever. Yeah, allegedly it's going to come out someday. Someday. She told me she's starting season 2, which I don't even know what the fuck that means.
Has she considered?
So anywho, go listen to her. It's all right. Otherwise, for some reason I thought this podcast was going to be on Thursday, so I had made plans to otherwise not go dancing. So I'm going to go with my girlfriend Natalia and go do some more waltzing. It'll be fun. Be a nice time.
Wow, nice.
Go take your lady out and do some dancing. It's a very fun time.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't kick it out of bed for eating crackers, which I have used that phrase with customers, and I am surprised I have not gotten in trouble yet.
Jesse, what plugs you got?
Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, go check out the Unspoken Issues that we just dropped. Oh, my goodness. I want to say, well, it was a couple weeks back where we talked about Carnage. It's me, Derry Waite, and Dean Compton coming together talking about the first Carnage arc, and watch for an upcoming release of Unspoken Issues where we discuss George Perez and his run on, well, not his whole run. We just looked at issues 4 and 5, or maybe it was 5 and 6, I can't remember, of the Avengers. Basically looked for the Squadron Supreme Avengers tussle that went down in 90s comics. We talked about 3 issues that featured that. And if you're a Squadron Supreme fan, along with an Avengers fan, or if you're a George Perez fan, check that out because that'll be dropping here pretty soon. And I think, Mark, you already mentioned, I believe, possibly, I don't know, the I listened to the plugs, I swear. I just can't remember. There's so many. There's
his eyes glazed over.
Well, Source Material is going to have an episode of contributing to the Superblog team up, and it's me and Chris Armstrong talking about George Perez and Brave and the Bold 1 through 6. And you want to talk about one crazy story. You start out with Batman and Green Lantern in the throes of an investigation in the first issue, and by the end of it, Mark Radulich, guess what? There's time travel involved.
Oh,
there is
boy.
Zeta beams are involved. Yeah, that's right, Zeta beams. There is the Legion of Superheroes. There's the Fatal Five. There's Epoch, a time-traveling villain. The Lords of Luck is the name of the story featuring the Luck Lords. And if you want to talk about some creepy-looking villains, imagine kind of like, I don't know, a beanstalk with an eyeball as a head. There you go. That is... And George knocks it out of the park every single issue. And I'm glad to be a part of the Superblog team up and, of course, the podcasts that we're putting out there on the network that are kind of celebrating his legacy and wishing him well, obviously. So that's all I have there, Mark.
All right, folks, thank you for listening to us review Lordi, Abracadaver. For Robert Cooper and Jesse Starcher, I'm Mark Radulich. Be well, be safe, and behave.